Give me a sec. Oh. Give me a sec. How is everyone? Have a look who's here. Juan Carlos, Live Kung Fu, Luke Marshall, P1000 Cool Picks, Jeremy Brown, Patrick Jane, Andrew Calvert, Robert Matthews, R Green 216, Flatearth Dude. How's everyone doing? One second. Oh, I'm all gone. Empty. So how is everyone? Hope everyone's doing alright. Wait for one for plus a freak at once. It's usually the case, innit? Uppercut. How you doing? Right. I was I'm still gonna do them as videos on their own, but I'm just gonna share something here. It's carrying on with what the last couple of videos have been about. Right, I'll hang fire a minute. Before we start, anyway, Flat Earth here doesn't represent any strawman maps or models or anything like that. It's just asking the question, trying to discover where I am, who I am, where I'm at. Trying to give people the tools to discern. Yeah, good uppercut, thanks. Oh, hang on, 1 second. Give me one minute.
Come and say hello. Come on, come and say hello. Come on.
Oh. Right, 1 second. It's all right. Are we back on? Yeah, here we are. Sorry. Just had to go and get little man. All right. This is one of them. Yeah, got two of you. Two new kittens. This is one of them. Say hello. This is, we think, Whiskers. We're not sure yet. We might change the name. Bear with me 1 sec. It's all right. Shh. It's all right. Oh, it's okay. Shh.
Say hello. Come and say hello.
And this is Smudge.
Say hello.
Hello.
Say hello, Smudge. Say hello.
One sec. Sorry, cats were, well, kittens. We've only just got them. They was in the kitchen, proper going mad. So I had to go and have a look, see what they were doing. And I thought, while I'm there, I might as well just let you have a look. 2 new cats. So we've got two little kittens now and a snail. Hi, Goldfish Brain. Sandy123, how you doing? Spherical Cow. Stephen Watson. Good Lady Onyx Enter. Jennifer Winterburn, how you doing? Right. Stuart Lundy, how you doing? You alright? Yeah, like I said, I had to go and what they call it, sort cats out. So I thought while I was there, I'd let you have a look. 2 new pets. They were the mother was what they call it, found in a shed. It were the mother was didn't have any owners or anything, just running wild, and it had kittens in someone's shed. And the mother didn't want the kittens, so someone took them in, and we've managed to get 2 of the kittens. So and now the mother's apparently back at where the shed is now, looking for the kittens. I don't know. They're old enough now. I think they're about 8 or 9 weeks old now. So. Yeah, Lady Onyx, they bring their mice in. They think they're bringing you something to eat. They think that it's a good thing for them. So praise them when they do that, because they think they're helping out. They think they're bringing you something to eat and bringing food into the house and that for you. Hi, Randy Quaid, how you doing? Hope everyone's all right. Like I said before, right? We're gonna like I said, Flatearth here doesn't represent any straw man maps or models. It's just an exploration into what we were born into, basically. We know it's not what they tell us. So, dream is. And I've heard of that stuff. We're getting whiskers at the minute, I think. We're eating at the minute. So. A few. Right. I'm going to the last video that I did about trolls and stuff, their tactics and stuff like that. well, how to recognize a troll and stuff like that, and what to do and stuff like that when you come up against one. Had to make my own tea. What is my dad's shop? Cheevers. I've got to. I can't just get normal cat food at the minute though, because they're only like 8 weeks old, so they're going to have kitten food. I can only get kitten food at the minute and kitten milk. So they get a bit older. I'm going to take them to get what do you call it? I think they're both boys, I think. 2 boys. So Randy, so they allow you to join Steve's hangout. What? My cat brought in a dusty chip the other week. Lol. Well, I've not heard that tea's made for years. Tea's made. Right. I'm gonna share this. How to spot a paid troll and what to do when you find one. Trolls are coming. Arm yourself. You may not want to believe this, or you shouldn't believe anything anyway, so there we go. But there are people who actually exist that are paid real money to troll you on the internet. People who are given money from political foundations and set loose online to give you a hard time for having an opinion, opposed to their sugar daddies or sugar mummies. Correct the Record is the main paid troll organisation you will come across. It's about presidential election in America, how much money, that's not really important. American presidential campaign. Yeah, the thing on Facebook about Julian Assange or something. They came out from under their bridges with their banal ad hominems and eye-rolling retorts. One by one, he got him to flee his page and block him. That's a win. He says, in this article, I'll share how I knew they were paid trolls, how you can know, and what to do about them. Firstly, there are 5 clues to the individual. Well, I'm going to call them a person because that's all they deserve to be called. You're talking to is not genuine and is in fact being compensated literally dozens of dollars per week to talk to you. This is mainly if you're on like Facebook or stuff like this, but unrelated to you or recently become active. That could be YouTube as well, like these soccer accounts that have not been there very long. So if someone is responding to your post with some inflammatory comment, take a second and check out their account. On Facebook, if they don't share a mutual friend with you, that's a clue. On Twitter, if their account is just the standard egg for a profile pic, that's a clue. If it's a forum or like YouTube, check when the user signed up. If it's within the last few months, that's a clue. Generally, depending on what medium you are posting, check to see if it looks like they've recently signed up or recently become active after a long absence. A paid troll will not scorch the earth on a medium or account in which they've invested. They will use something disposable. If it looks disposable, you're ready to go to step 2. The first response is flippant and or is an obvious tell for cognitive bias. As Scott Adams writes in this blog post, before we carry on, forgot, fair use, educational purposes. There are certain tells that are useful in identifying cognitive bias, and luckily for us, the trolls tend to use them at the beginning of the post. Look for these tells to identify the brainwashed. Lol, wow, so, in other words, OMG, laughter, any personal or professional insult, or a Hitler analogy. The Hitler analogy is that argumentum ad Hitlerum, which is a logical fallacy that I put in the last, I think it was the last video, that might have been the one before. So to be clear, these are only tells if they don't accompany some sort of rational counter-arguments or facts. If you see lol followed by a link to a good counter-argument or to credible studies, that's not brainwashing. It is only when you see the tells presented as a substitute for reason and they signal brainwashing. As mentioned, if they follow up with a rational argument or logical point, then they are just a real person who disagrees with you. Yay. But all these like sock puppet accounts that are coming on that on videos like this and other people's videos and stuff like that, not so much on my videos. I don't know why. I don't know why they want to come here. But I encounter them other places, and I like point out the fallacies and stuff like that. They usually start off with stuff like this, like sock puppet accounts, like it says there, with they come with a cognitive bias or the flippant or whatever, or the like argumentum ad hominem attacks and stuff like that, or laughing or whatever. And then it says here that if they come with other stuff, then it might be all right, but they never come with a logical point. That's my point. They don't come with a logical point. They always come with some logical fallacy. Yeah, they use a script. This stem tends to come in after you've made a retort of some kind. Now, I assume you've seen copy and paste scripts before. They're all over the place. Look up any popular Twitter post or YouTube video, and you'll see those posts that go on and on and on, and are vaguely or completely off topic, and or have a link to some clickbait link or video. Just your instincts. You've been interneting for a while. You know what this crap looks like. I'll have to admit I do copy and paste like logical fallacies and stuff to these trolls and stuff like that. It's quicker for me to do that rather than type it all out and try and remember it all and type it all out. I copy and paste. I do copy and paste. I'll have to admit that. I do that. I used to be like you, but now this is the type of line that's used for what's known as a sympathetic troll or sock puppet. Typically, these trolls are more experienced and or ambitious. They are trolls that pretend to be like you to win you over or convince your audience of their view. Usually that your agenda is failing and you should give up. But they are not like you. They are actually your worst ideological enemy. But don't buy into their disguise, especially if they've demonstrated any of the above points. You are suddenly a conspiracy theorist. You're going back and forth with a paid troll who insists they are anything but, and suddenly you are a tin hat wearing, lizard humanoid takeovering conspiracy theorist. Now, this isn't the first thing a shill or a troll will throw at you. In fact, it's the last. When you are accused of any related conspiracy theory, nomenclature, after beating back all of their fruitless attempts to subdue your rightful views, be happy, you've won. The pejorative accusation of conspiracy theory was created by the CIA in 1967 as a way to stifle any narrative that conflicted with the official account of the Kennedy assassination. Before and shortly after this time, many executive officials experienced numerous concerns about conspiracy and shadow government and other such things, including US presidents, and their concerns were legitimately digested and considered. Here are some examples. I'll leave a link to this. Put a link to this so you can go and have a look at these videos. I'm not going to play them. If a troll resorts to accusing you of conspiracy theory, tells our tin hat, lizard people, AI, you can rest assured and truly have a warm feeling in your breast that you have been that they have been destroyed and have nothing else left with which to troll you. It is a white flag and a sign of defeat. Treat it as such and be prepared for their departure. So what do I do when I spot a paid troll? I twerk it. I think that's funny. When you find one of these creatures, prepare to act accordingly. One option is to ignore and completely disengage, and as far as I'm concerned, that's entirely legitimate. Their whole goal is to keep you from doing something productive by using frustrating distraction. And if it's your accounts connected to your business, don't engage at all. However, if you choose to engage a troll, or am doing it for the fun of it, if your mindset is that it's a game to predict their next move and confound the one who seeks to confound you, then confronting a troll can actually be very fun. This approach is totally disruptive to their mission, and they will not be able to deal with you. Remember, these are people who are being paid by partisan groups to give you a hard time. It's kind of like pranking a telemarketer or Prince Abobo, the Nigerian catfish. Their job is immoral, and you are justified in destroying it. So what's the first thing to do? Tell them that you know they're a paid troll or shill. There's nothing that a paid troll hates more than being exposed right away. See, I found one of these a few months back, one of these paid trolls, and I knew there was, I could tell, because of some of this stuff here. But I've only just come across this a couple of days ago, this article. But I knew they were, and I pointed it out. As soon as I pointed it out, that were it then. the ad hominem attacks started coming in and all that sort of stuff. And no, I'm not. You are, and trying to accuse me of stuff and stuff like that. Which shows you that they're what they call it. You know what I mean? As soon as they start attacking back, as soon as you call them out, that's it. You know. Honestly, if they're solidly past points 1 and 2 on this list, you are fair game to directly accuse them of being a paid troll. The best thing about this approach is that it will spur them to go quickly and intensely into the remainder of their program, which, thanks to the list above, you already know, which leads to the next point. Use this list to predict their next move and stay one step ahead. You can use your own creativity with this. I like to tell the troll that they're doing what they're going to do next. It's very frustrating to them, and you can sit back and laugh as they chop the legs out from under, as you chop the legs out from under them one by one. If it's more your style to play with the mouse before you eat it, you can pace your position and lead them wherever you want. You can read up about pacing and leading online or start with this article if you don't feel like looking around too much. These people aren't exactly what I would call bright, so you can use them to practice your persuasion and influence techniques. Counter troll. I only do this and engage with trolls just to point out the fallacies and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And other people then come along and see that later. Like I said in the last video that I did the other day, they're not there to be convinced. They're not there to listen to anything you've got to say at all. What you're putting on to these trolls and that, you've got to think that the next person, the genuine people that are going to come along that come across that video and read them comments, what you're putting is basically trying to show the genuine people of what's going on and stuff like that, and what these trolls are actually doing and stuff. So if they seem easily triggered, which most people who would take a job as a troll are, find the opposite of their position and throw it in their face in the worst possible way. If they're pro-choice, be as pro-life as possible. If they're anti-war, be hawkish. But post annoying memes that make jokes of what they're trying to say. Keep in mind the five steps above and be one step ahead of them. It doesn't matter what your actual views are. Remember, these people are not authentic or genuine. This is bad advice coming from me because I don't tend to do this. I don't tend to do any of that either. I just point out that I'm more logical and analytical and prefer to toy with the mind of a troll until they submit or run away, or they turn around and say, "Oh, I've done with you. I'm not conversing with you no more." They'll say, and they'll disappear because they know that they can't. You know what I mean? That I'm pointing out the fallacies and everything else. They run most of the time. Sometimes they could be a little bit more stubborn. Take screenshots of your conversations as you progress, just in case they delete stuff and stuff like that. Basically, that's saying. I'm not going to go through all that bit. Basically, take things. I hope this article was helpful to you. There's some comments at the bottom. I'm just going to have a quick look here now. Not that one. Not that one. This one here. Someone put, yes, you hit a lot of great points here. I can tell you that this person here is a cognitive infiltrator, is a shill army, infiltrate 9/11 truth movement. They hyped up the old flat earth bullshit. This one has left a comment here, says, which has been debunked. No, it's not been debunked. So what are you on about? Which is, but shills aren't interested in truth or facts, only discrediting their opponents. Right? Then he goes on about something down here again about, I bring this up because they were the ones mostly used to push flat earth. It's on about the Christians, Jesus, God, repent, Holy Spirit, all that sort of stuff. And we'll always quote Bible verses. He says, I bring this up because they're the ones mostly used to push flat earth. Claim the Bible says it's flat, but in this he checked with people and said it wasn't. Right? But it's this bit here. This is quite good what he's put here. Other signs to watch out for is mass astroturfing, spam, voting content down in large numbers, mass flagging people's comments or content, virtue signaling to gain popularity and followers / subs and likes, mental gymnastics, reverse psychology, groupthink, and sometimes they hold doublethink, gaslighting to confuse you and distract and frustrate and make you question your own beliefs or knowings, whatever you want, but I won't say beliefs. I don't use the word belief. Repetition, repeating the same thing everywhere, all over a website or affiliated websites. They really keep themselves busy with their sock puppets. Usually don't put a lot of effort in their user profiles. They count on the naive and ignorant to take what they say and not bother to check if they are legit. Sadly, this happens a lot. Confirmation bias will do that, as they tend to gather at popular places that have a lot of people to push their narrative on, like popular channels on YouTube, pop culture and trending topics, social media like Tumblr, because the youth are there. And this is mainly to use entertainment as a Trojan horse for political bias topics, because the youth aren't going to be invested in the news. Those shills will push it through art, film, music, TV, gaming, reviews and essays. So there we go. And someone else put, I've personally experienced the flat earth thing. From out of nowhere, I was accused of being a flat earth conspiracy theorist. It's the most stupid line of attack that I know of. Your points on gaslighting, virtue signaling, astroturfing, and mass flagging are pertinent. So even the loaded term flat earth is getting everywhere. It's in all these comments here as well. But this is the main bit here that I wanted to point out. This mass astroturfing, spamming, voting content down in large numbers, mass flagging people's comments or content, virtue signaling to gain popularity and followers and subs and likes and stuff like that. Mental gymnastics, we get all this. We can see all this gaslighting. They don't put many effort into the profiles and stuff yet. Busy with the sock puppets, going around just repeating and repetition the same bullshit over and over again. We see that a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to put a link to this now in the chat. Let me just copy it. Stop sharing. There's the link to that if anyone wants to go and have a look. I found that quite interesting. So hopefully people will have a look at that and they'll see and they'll be able to tell who the paid trolls are. And then differentiate between who's the paid ones and who's the genuine, just normal trolls and stuff like that. Like I said, there was the thing that I put on a video the other day about sea lioning, call it. Like a sea lion, but sea lioning. It's where the troll comes on and acts all nice and like they're there to just be genuine and ask questions, and they just constantly do that all the time. That's another telltale sign as well, sea lioning. Night, Goldfish Brent. He only singled me out, but put two of them. I'm not getting involved with drama. Yep, stick together but stay independent in thought. Stand on your own 2 feet. Don't believe anything I say. Check that out. Go and have a look and go and look other places. There's other places you can get the information from as well. Who pays them? NASA. I've not got a clue. I don't know. There's probably government agencies, NASA, government agency, other government agencies, governments, big multinational companies that have got a lot to lose, a lot of money invested in space and the globe and stuff like that, like satellite manufacturers and stuff like that, and all that sort of stuff, and all the big space stuff and that. And there's a lot of people invested. There's a lot of big companies invested a lot of money in the globe Earth society. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know. It could be anybody, but we know they're there. We know there's paid trolls there. We'll do one more thing. I'm lagging a bit. I don't know what it's like at your end. Exactly, Chris says, yeah. We know people are definitely on task. And otherwise, why are they here? You know, we know. You know what I mean? And like that last bit I've just shown you there, that some telltale signs that they're on task. Yeah. So you can tell which ones are on task and that. Wages and pensions depend on the lies. That's what I've just said. I mean, there's a lot of money invested in the Globe Earth Society. And if the Globe Earth Society fails, because it's not true, obviously, then a lot people have got a lot to lose. So they're going to employ people and that to try and keep it quiet and everything else and troll and stuff. Of course they are. Oh, I'm lagging. Right, I'm going to show... Gonna have to, what they call it now.